The first movie I gave maybe like a 6.5 out of 10. I think I'll give this one a 7. I saw the
Okay.
3D version. I mean, I liked what they did. I enjoyed this one just a little bit more than the first one. I know it's gotten some pretty harsh reviews. But then again, like sort of the first movie, I guess. I mean, it's really just an audience
Yeah.
film. I know this might be the last Silent Hill movie, so I
Yeah.
guess go out and see it, or wait for it to come out on DVD,
Mhm.
Blu-ray,
Yeah.
or whatever. But, I thought it wasn't too bad. I thought it was more interesting than the first movie.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot more focus. And the best thing of all, Sean Bean survives. It's the second time he survived a Silent Hill movie. But let's give him a high five. Let's give him a round of applause for that.
Way to go, Sean Bean!
That's cool. What about you?
I'm gonna give this movie a 10 out of 10.
Yes.
I love this movie. I literally could not get out of my seat. I felt like I was actually watching a video game movie, and this is probably the only movie that I've ever seen that felt like a video game. I mean,
I've seen more like a video game.
I've seen a lot of video game movies, and they never feel like video game movies, but this movie feels like the actual video game. To me, I thought the girl that played Alyssa in this movie felt like her character actually in the video game. She looked exactly like her. She talked like her. It felt like even the acting was like the same as the video game. And I like that too. It felt like it, and I like the atmosphere. I love the 3D. How the ashes come out at you. It's really well done. The story is a lot better than the first movie.
It made more sense.
I would say in comparison. And nobody was confused watching the movie. Everybody understood it in the movie theater. Even I understood it. And you felt really confused when you watched the first film. So this movie really sums up everything you want to know. You don't even have to see the first movie to understand this film, which was nice. But you also understood little things that you probably wouldn't understand if you didn't watch the first movie. So it felt like a sequel, but it also summed everything up really nicely.
It kind of felt like, how, I'm not, this is kind of a random comparison, but you didn't really have to see Batman Begins to see The Dark Knight.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you had to see that both of them kind of get to Dark Knight Rises a little more.
Yeah.
It kind of felt something like it had that sort of vibe, which is good, because a lot of people, I mean, I didn't see Silent Hill in theaters. I didn't see it till recently.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, I wasn't confused at all. I mean, I'm with my brother. He wasn't confused. He was like, oh, this one made a lot more sense.
Yeah.
The 3D was fun. There's a lot of... I like the creatures in the movie. Those were kind of creative, but still the movie is... I mean, there's still some things I'm just like, what? It's kind of bizarre a little bit.
Yeah, and I heard the 3D was actually post-converted. It wasn't actually filmed in 3D. But even though it was post-converted, they did a really nice post-conversion on this movie. Because the 3D actually looked really well done. I mean, it's pretty rare when you actually see a good post-conversion, but this would be an example of a good one.
I also thought the movie, I wasn't scared. Like, the movie didn't scare me at all. I thought it was actually was kind of funny.
Okay.
Like, with the creepy old man.
Yeah.
Who was just on the bus. He just goes, it just randomly, they're just talking, then he's on the bus. He's just having a blast. He's just laughing, just pointing at things. And I'm just like, oh my God.
I'm not going to lie to you. I jumped 5 times during this movie. And there was different scenes where I actually jumped. I'm not gonna lie. My leg was shaking. I actually found this movie a little bit scary. There was some scary moments, but mostly it came out of like the atmosphere. Basically, I liked how they fooled around with the 3D and things would jump out at you and stuff. I really liked that. And I like that. I think one of my favorite scenes was. When she's surrounded by all those guys and they're in like a jail and they're trying to get at her, and
then Pyramid
just comes out and he like chops off all their arms and their arms are come right out at you in 3D. That was one of my favorite scenes. And
It was like they were like throwing the arms at you, and she's just like, "Whoops."
Yeah, and I also like the scene where she was at like the fair. Remember the fair scene?
Mm-hmm.
That was really cool. And
she fuses with herself.
Yeah.
I mean,
and it felt like a video game. It felt like the actual fair from the video game. That's why I liked it. It really felt, it felt like a live action video game. That's what I really liked about it.
Mm-hmm. What else? What else can we say? I mean, it made a lot more sense. But like I'm still laughing.
Yeah.
A lot because of that ending. Because I was just looking at Pyramid Head fighting whatever that other thing was. I don't know the name of it. I'm just like I just look at the screen. I'm just seeing a giant Pyramid Head machete wielding monster and something with a buzzsaw. And I bursted out laughing because I'm like, is anybody else watching this?
Pyramid Head was a way more of a badass in this movie. I gotta say, he really steals the show basically.
Like in the first movie, it almost felt like he wasn't really there that much.
Yeah, he was barely. I felt like he was barely in the first movie. In this movie, he really like shines. Like they really use his character a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And I really like that.
He looked like he was like almost tortured in this movie.
Yeah.
Like when he's like on the merry-go-round, and I'm just like, huh.
And that funny rabbit part.
the rabbit. I thought the rabbit was. I was waiting for the rabbit to assault her, but instead we get like those guys with the mask. Like, I wanted her to fight the giant rabbit. The giant rabbit's just sitting there. He's just making his face, just going, oh, what's up, bitch?
The part where she has a dream and the rabbit head turns to her. Oh god, it's so fun. Man.
That was funny. This movie has a lot of funny moments.
It does. And then they got that part where like Sean Bean like pranks us, like because
and I was sitting there with my brother. We were just like, oh, come on, Sean Bean. And then Sean Bean's kind of like, oh, come on. Guys in every movie.
Yeah, like you think he's gonna die, and then it's like, punked you. They should have had like Ashton Kutcher come up, be like, punk.
I remember when I said to myself, I'm just like, wow, that was fast.
Yeah.
It's a new record for Sean Bean dying.
That's why the director had fun with it, because he was like fooling with the audience.
Like the first movie, it felt just like it kind of like it feels very long, and it kind of just drains you a little bit by the end.
Yeah.
But this one, I mean, it was a lot shorter. It went by a lot faster. It was just a quick matinee movie.
I don't think it deserves a 4.5, from IGN out of 10. I think this movie's deserves a lot more. But, I don't really understand the bashing. I actually really like this compared to the...
Yeah, it was... I liked it more than Paranormal Activity 4. That movie was like... that ending made me really mad in that movie. This movie, I mean, the ending didn't make me mad. It kind of felt like, yeah, we resolved our story right here, but we could do another one.
Yeah.
I think this might be the last Silent Hill movie, unless it does really well overseas with its 3D, because 3D does really well overseas. Mm-hmm. And we might not be seeing another one anytime soon, I don't think, unless this one does pretty well overseas, because it didn't do so well over here. I mean, it's in the top 3. I think it did number 1 Friday.
You give this a 10 out of 10, you give it a 7, and I'm going to say, both of us can say check it out, right?
Yeah, it's a fun... It's a funny movie to me, because I look at a lot of movies nowadays and I just laugh, because I like the part I think I said before, where I just noticed Pyramid Head fighting that weird thing, and I'm just like, is anybody else really watching this and noticing a giant Pyramid Head monster is fighting a buzzsaw out of its head, weird creature thing that seems like something Guillermo del Toro would have in his movies? It kind of felt like that, like you ever see like the Hellboy movies and like Pan's Eye? It felt like a Guillermo del Toro creature. That's what I got from this movie. I mean, just have fun with it. Just enjoy it for what it is. That's what I say with it.
Yeah, totally. I'm gonna,
don't look at this as like a dramatic picture. Don't look at it as like a Shawshank Redemption type movie. No, look at it as just a fun movie.
Yeah.